Alright, what's up guys? Welcome into your WWE Monday Night Raw review for May 5th, 2014. Tonight's show was live from the Times Union Center in Albany, New York. And the show started out with a 20-man over-the-top battle royal for the United States Championship. It came down to Dean Ambrose and Sheamus. Sheamus would end up going over with the bro kick, and he would throw Dean Ambrose over the top rope to become the new United States Champion. To me, this was kind of dumb. I was really hoping they'd use the United States Championship to put over a younger talent, you know, someone like Rusev or Adam Rose, Bo Dallas, someone like that. I really wasn't wanting Dean Ambrose to drop the strap to Sheamus, because to me this doesn't really do anything for Sheamus. I mean, we're talking about a former WWE champion, so for Sheamus to hold the United States Championship, does it really mean anything? No, not really. So I don't see where this is going. But anyways, after the match, Triple H would come out and set up the main event for the night, and he would go ahead and make the match The Shield versus the Wyatts in a 6-man tag. So I was pretty pumped up about that. Obviously, because the Shield and the Wyatts, they know how to put on a good match. I mean, their match at Elimination Chamber was epic, so I was definitely looking forward to the main event. Okay, after that, we got a backstage interview with Renee Young and Sheamus. Basically, Sheamus just recapped his win, and Renee ended up asking Sheamus what he had to say to Dean Ambrose, and Sheamus just said no hard feelings, and yeah, that was that. Next up, we got Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella backstage in the locker room. Stephanie McMahon would walk in, and she congratulated Daniel on retaining the World Heavyweight Championship, and she advised them to stay in the locker room because she couldn't control Kane. And yeah, after she left the room, we ended up seeing Kane's mask hanging on the back of the door. And yeah, I think this sets up Daniel Bryan versus Kane at Payback. Word on the street is it's going to be a buried alive match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm kind of on board with that. I think that's what's going to happen. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Daniel Bryan and Kane, but I'm definitely seeing a rematch coming up at the next pay-per-view. Okay, after that we got back to wrestling. RVD versus Cesaro. Before the match, Paul Heyman came out and cut a pretty good promo. Did his normal Brock Lesnar shtick, the whole thing. Brock Lesnar defeated the streak, and then Cesaro would come out. I thought this was a pretty decent match. It ended up ending with RVD winning by DQ after Cesaro refused to answer the referee's 5 count, and after the match, Cesaro was still going in on RVD, and Heyman would have to pull him back, warning Cesaro not to get suspended. And to me, I think this sets up RVD versus Cesaro at Payback. And, you know, I wouldn't mind having RVD versus Cesaro. Obviously, RVD and Cesaro are both pretty damn good wrestlers. And, you know, I think definitely wouldn't hurt to have RVD put over Cesaro. Be a pretty good win for Cesaro. So, yeah, after that, we got a Bray Wyatt promo. Bray pretty much just recapped his win over John Cena, if you want to call it a win. I don't know. To me, it really wasn't much of a win, but yeah, that was pretty much the gist of that promo. Then we would get Ryback versus Cody Rhodes in a time filler match, I guess you could say. I don't really see much of a reason for this match other than just time filler. To me, the match sucked. I mean, it's Ryback. What do you expect? So, yeah, didn't really care about the match, so not much to say about that. We'd get Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella once again, and the lights ended up going out in the locker room, so they'd run out, and Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella tried to take off, but Stephanie McMahon would have to come out, and she told Daniel if he were to leave, then he'd be in violation, or I'm sorry, in breach of contract, and he would have to surrender the championship if he left. So obviously Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella would end up staying, and after that we got a Los Matadores Cinco de Mayo celebration. 3MB would interrupt, and they would try to call a truce with Los Matadores, but instead we would get a brawl between Hornswoggle and El Torito, and I found this segment to be pretty funny. I was actually laughing out loud at this. I usually don't laugh that much at wrestling, but I don't know, it was kind of funny to me. I really did enjoy the WLC match last night on Extreme Rules, but this little segment to me, yeah, it was funny, so cool. After that, we got a match between Kofi Kingston and Rusev. Pretty much just a squash. Rusev picked up the win with the accolade, and yeah, I'm just sticking with my stance that I've had with Rusev for a while now, and that is, I mean, we gotta see this guy wrestle a match, man. Longer than 5 minutes at least. I mean, all of his matches have just been squashes, man. So it'd be nice to see this guy wrestle a real match so we can see if he's actually good or not. But yeah, we got Daniel Bryan versus Alberto Del Rio up next, and what was actually a surprisingly good match. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. I mean, Daniel Bryan carried the match. Alberto Del Rio sucks, so yeah, of course Daniel Bryan's gonna make Del Rio look like $100, but Daniel Bryan picked up the win with the yes lock, and then after the match, Kane's music and pyro hit. Kane was nowhere to be seen, so Daniel ran backstage with Bree trying to protect his wife, and they headed straight for their car. The car wouldn't start, and Daniel Bryan would end up getting out, trying to fix the car. Bree was screaming, and then all of a sudden Kane was in the back seat, and he ended up trying to attack Brie Bella, but Daniel Bryan was able to protect his wife, and he started going in on Kane, and then Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella ended up driving off. And yeah, like I said earlier, I think they're just setting up the match for a payback between Daniel Bryan and Kane. So that was my takeaway from that whole match and segment. Okay, so after that, we got the Intercontinental Championship rematch between Bad News Barrett and Big E. Solid match as always. I enjoyed the match last night on Extreme Rules, and I enjoyed the match tonight on Monday Night Raw. Bad News Barrett would retain the Intercontinental Championship after hitting Big E with the Bullhammers. So yeah, cool match, and I hope we get at least 1 or 2 more matches out of these guys because I've been enjoying this feud quite a bit. Okay, following that, we got Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger. They ended up coming out with Zeb's deportation list. It had Cesaro, Paul Heyman, Sheamus, Paige, Emma, and Santino Marella on it, and he kind of mocked them a little bit, and then all of a sudden Adam Rose came out. I was kind of expecting him to come out here, and what do you know, he came out, and yeah, man, I like Adam Rose. I think he's a pretty cool guy. He's not a great wrestler, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like his entrance more than I like him, but yeah, man, I like Adam Rose. Definitely wouldn't mind seeing him have some good mid-card matches. And yeah, basically Adam Rose and Jack Swagger got into it. Swagger would get thrown over the top rope, and Adam Rose told Zeb Coulter, is he going to be a rosebud instead of a lemon? And then the whole party shtick kind of was in full effect. They were all dancing in the ring, and then Zeb Coulter ended up getting out. So looks like we're going to get Jack Swagger versus Adam Rose coming up here. I don't know if it's going to be a pay-per-view match or not, but yeah, it looks like we've got a new-born feud here between Swagger and Adam Rose. We'll see where things go with Adam Rose. Young guy, and yeah, he's got a lot of potential. I like him, so yeah, cool. So finally, we would get to the much-anticipated main event of the night, The Shield versus the Wyatts, and of course, as expected, this match was just a brawl in the beginning for about 10 to 15 minutes, and yeah, Evolution would come out, and then that would kind of set up the distraction, and yeah, Bray Wyatt ended up going over on Roman Reigns with the sister Abigail, and the Wyatts would win. Kind of fluky, but I see what WWE's doing. They're just protecting the Shield, that's all. So definitely not mad about that. And yeah, after the match, Evolution, they just went in on the Shield, and they kind of mocked him a little bit. They ended up hitting a triple power bomb on Roman Reigns, and he ended up bleeding pretty bad after that, and then they ended up posing over the Shield. So hopefully we see some more from Evolution and the Shield. I mean, that match on the pay-per-view last night was pretty epic. I mean, it was the best match on the card. So, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing more evolution in the Shield, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not, because the word on the street is Batista's going to be taking some time off here pretty soon. So we'll have to see what happens there. Also, there's been some word that WWE wants to do Daniel Bryan versus Batista. I don't know if that's going to happen either, because right now it seems like it's going to be Daniel Bryan and Kane. So I'm not too sure if this feud's going to continue or not, but I think it's pretty safe to say after this beatdown on the Shield by Evolution, I don't think we've seen the end of this feud by any stretch of the imagination. But yeah, guys, that is your Monday Night Raw review. Overall, I give this show a 5 out of 10. I thought there was some decent matches, but overall there just wasn't a lot of storyline progression, and you know, I think there was just a lot of time filler on tonight's show. I think it could have been a lot better. But yeah, that's what I think. Let me know what you guys thought of the show in the comments section below. And that is going to go ahead and bring us to the end of this video, guys. So thank you all for watching as always. And until the next time, I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace. I'm out.